Welcome to Comic Movie 10, where you get insight into everything comic book movies and television related in 10 minutes or less. I'm Joe Kane.
And I'm Dan Kane. No
relation.
Hey, don't forget to subscribe and share and keep up with us at hecklerkane.com.
On today's show, we ask the question, do the characters of Gotham live up to their comic book counterparts?
Yeah, so Gotham is at times an interesting take on, the Batman world, especially specific characters. The biggest one that stands out to me is Commissioner Gordon. He's very...
Well, he's the star of the show.
Well, he's the star of the show, but he's also very different than the image of Commissioner Gordon.
Sure. Well, we're missing a mustache.
We are missing a mustache.
Although in the one of the most recent episodes, he did have a mustache in a dream sequence, which was kind of a little tip of the hat of the character.
Yeah, I mean, I like the direction that they went. He's a lot darker, though. I don't know if I could say he lives up. It's a completely different path.
Yeah, you know what? We always saw Commissioner Gordon as a goody two-shoes.
Right.
And he's more of a badass in this.
Yeah, he's more along the lines of someone, like, he seems similar to the darkness of Batman.
He is the entity that Batman is in this.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, that some of the things he's done. I mean, from getting involved with Falcone and some of the mob guys, and he's done a lot of things that you wouldn't think typically that would be things Commissioner Gordon would be doing.
Yeah. Well, Ben McKenzie has taken a different route with his character as Gordon.
Right.
So is that route anything to do with what we would picture as the original, Gordon, Commissioner Gordon?
No.
No. Something completely different.
Yeah, something.
Well, J.K. Simmons is playing him in the DC universe in the movies. So I mean, that even the look that he has is much more traditional to the comics.
Right. And leading into that, Bruce's character.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's Bruce growing up as a kid. This was a point that was never really was kind of brushed over in most of the comics. Is this era that Gotham is tackling,
right? Which
is kind of neat. Bruce Wayne is not a full-fledged Batman. We see in the comics, we see Bruce Wayne as a kid witnessing his parents' death,
right?
And then having a tragic moment with bats.
Right.
Falling into a cave of bats in the traditional comics. And then the next thing we know, he's trained for years and has become Batman.
Right.
So, at this point in the story, he's really developing something unique because we don't really have a comparison for that.
Right.
Just based on his age.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something different than we've ever seen, like you said. And
I'm having some issues, honestly, with some of the routes that they're going down. I mean, to be perfectly honest with you, I just want to, slap Bruce Wayne across the face.
Yeah, I want to slap him, and I guess that's the point. But the way they're making him out to be, I think that's hard for me to deal with because I love Batman.
Sure.
And the last thing I want to do is be angry with him, even if he's not Batman yet.
Yeah.
So it's hard to swallow that. Here's a guy that I love, is one of my favorites, and God, I just want to hit him. I just want to hit him.
Well, we're both in agreement that we want to hit Bruce Wayne in the face.
Yes, we do right now. For now.
Now, it has nothing to do with the actor. David, how do you pronounce his last name?
Mazouz?
Mazouz?
If that's wrong, we apologize.
Sorry, David. We know David's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, it has nothing to do with the actor. It's just the character and the way it was written.
Right.
I mean, he started out so innocent.
Right.
And then has gotten to the point where it's he's doing things like he fires Alfred and stuff, and he's lashing out at characters that we love.
Right. Yeah.
And maybe that's the point where it's
he's being a billionaire brat, which I guess at some point is expected. But
but it was something we never really saw.
Right.
So maybe it's just a new look on this.
Right. One guy I want to get to is
Okay.
Sean Pertwee.
Oh.
He is. We want to talk about living up to Alfred. He's a totally different take, and I love this Alfred.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's a good take. There was a run of the comics where Alfred was a former MI6, and this kind of storyline had portrayed that he helped Bruce Wayne become Batman because he was in MI6.
Right.
That existed in the comics.
Right.
Now, looking at this and going, okay, well, what has Sean done with the character? He's made him into like this like grisly sort of like, in your face character that you love.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he's there. He's a support system. And again, getting back to Bruce Wayne firing him, I think we're pissed off at Bruce Wayne for doing that because we like Alfred so much.
Yeah, we like Alfred. He's just a badass, and he can throw down.
Yeah, absolutely.
But he's a mentor. And
well, in the show, he's definitely shot people. Like, he's just like, oh, okay, move on.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And that's something you see with him and Gordon that weren't typical.
Oh,
just like I took this guy out.
Yeah, exactly. Again, it gets back to a lot of expectations with them are that they are goody two shoes. Him,
right.
Alfred specifically, and Gordon,
right,
were like goody two shoes in a lot of the comic things.
Right.
But they're supporting somebody who's the Dark Knight.
Right. Yeah.
So this is a much more gritty, realistic sort of look into the psyche behind that.
Yeah.
To support a kid basically going out and putting on a mask and going vigilante on people.
Yeah. Absolutely. We're going to change gears here and talk about some of the villains in the show.
Well, villains are what makes the hero.
Yeah, well, especially in this show. I mean, it's focused around villains. So, I mean, one of my favorite ones is Nigma, Edward Nigma.
Okay. Nigma, or as better known as the Riddler. He's being portrayed by what's the actor's name?
Corey
Michael Smith. That's right.
Yeah.
Who's doing a phenomenal job with him?
Yeah, absolutely.
We haven't seen a proper Riddler yet in any sort of live action scenario.
Right.
The Riddler is like psychotic, and they're playing him as having this mental break that he's two people.
Yeah. It was a little weird. He broke out of being frozen, and is like an idiot.
Yeah,
and it was a little weird to see. But we're getting back into where he's fighting that Riddler side of him.
Yeah,
and he's starting to lose that battle.
Yes,
big time. So,
but you know what? It's not, and by no means am I taking any sort of psychological problem lightly. But it's delving into a psyche that's broken.
Yeah.
And really going, okay, how is this person affected by this disease that he has?
Right.
And that's something that's never really touched upon in the comics, which is for me a very cool outlook on how this character is being portrayed on screen.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Next guy that's always involved with the Riddler is the Penguin, Robin Lord Taylor. He has knocked the Penguin out of the park.
Yeah.
And he has the Penguin has been portrayed by Danny DeVito.
Right.
Which was an excellent version of the Penguin.
Yep, absolutely.
But this is a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it's a different take. I thoroughly enjoy it. Everything down to him overcoming his fears to the limp that he has with his foot sideways, the way he walks. I mean, I love his portrayal of the Penguin.
Yeah, and you know what? He's gone back to traditional comics. The original Penguin was introduced as a mob boss, basically.
Yeah, and
he's gone back to that sort of vibe that he's a mob boss and he's trying to take over the city, via henchmen.
Yeah, from being like a little pipsqueak carrying an umbrella.
Yeah, and we see his rise to power.
To power. Also, the two of them on screen together, they're both so insecure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As well as having complete power at times, they're both so insecure, Riddler and the Penguin, and their chemistry together on screen is something to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And there's been many other villains on here, but the other big one that's on as a regular character is Catwoman.
Yes.
Or Selina Kyle, I should say.
Yes, played by Karen Beekendova.
Yeah, and
she's another one that I enjoy. She's just that whole cat burglar type that they made her into on this show, just kind of like living on the streets and doing what she has to do to survive.
Sure. And she's a good foil for Bruce Wayne. How do you feel about the characters being portrayed as on live screen on Gotham as opposed to their counterparts in the comics?
We love bringing you these episodes, and we need your help to keep them coming.
Please don't forget to share and subscribe, and keep up with us at hecklacane.com.